All right, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Blackhawk Technical College. What I'd like to do is very quickly go over the syllabus for the 152, 164 Design and Implementation Projects class. I want you to be aware of the fact, and I think you probably already are, that the book that we are using for the class, Angular, JavaScript, AngularJS, JavaScript, and jQuery all in one, Sam's Teach Yourself by Daily and Daily, I am using this book for both the 152, 164 Design and Implementation Projects class and also for the 152, 167 Ajax and JavaScript website development class. And there's the book right there. What I have done so far, I mean, if you care, I guess, is I've gone out and I have done lectures on the first 6 chapters of the book, as you can see. And probably what I will end up doing before we start the semester is going through chapters 7 through 11 also. My hope is that a lot of the material, especially in chapters 1 through 6, is going to be review for you. And that we can go through the material in 1 through 6, maybe even in week number 1, or if no longer than the first 2 weeks. Then I may give you an assignment, and then we'll spend another couple weeks on chapters 7 through 11, and then give you another assignment. This will probably be a perpetual assignment where you will be working on a website and just be adding extra features and extra functionality as we go along in here. All right, so just typical Jeff Scott type of syllabus, so there's nothing really new here. We will meet, and is that right? I thought we met Tuesdays and Thursdays. Let me check that, because if I did it wrong, then it's wrong all over the place. So let's see. 152, 164. It is Tuesday, Thursday from 10 to 11:50, not Monday, Wednesday. So, just the only reason I'm doing this right now, and I know this is a waste of your time at least, is I have to change the date on here from Monday, Wednesday to Tuesday, Thursday. So that now should be correct, whereas previously it was incorrect. So I've got this open, let me close it, get rid of this, and bring in this. Alright, so again, we will meet Tuesdays, Thursdays from 10 to 11:50 in our regular room 1509. Now notice as mentioned here, this is a capstone class. So it's designed to have you utilize all the concepts you learned in the program in an actual setting. Notice the goal for this is for the student to build an actual working e-commerce website. That's what I'm hoping for. And that e-commerce website will include, at a minimum, HTML5, CSS3, and JavaScript and jQuery. Even if time, also AngularJS. So, students will develop an intermediate to advanced knowledge of HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, jQuery, and at least an introductory exposure to AngularJS. How much JS, AngularJS, it depends on how much time we actually have for the class. All right. Will there be 6 assignments? That's probably a little high. Please notice that what I have done is I have changed the attendance and participation, so it's bumped up to 20%. And if you are basically gone virtually all the time, all right, that will knock you down from 100% if you're doing A work to an 80% which in my book is a B minus. All right. You notice I kept the competencies pretty simplistic. An advanced knowledge of basic HTML5, an advanced knowledge of basic CSS3, an advanced knowledge of JavaScript, an advanced knowledge of jQuery, and an introduction to AngularJS. All of the material that we find will be on the P drive, and it'll be there under Blackboard. All right, and as always, I prefer communications between you and me be done by email. Just so you're aware of this, because I can close that now. But if I go back to here, what we have here thus far is I've got all sorts of articles that I found on jQuery, on HTML5, on CSS3, etc. And then I've got some just specific to jQuery, to AngularJS. Some more older stuff that I found, some JavaScript stuff, including a series of articles on JavaScript that was pretty good. And the same kind of thing with jQuery. All right. I've got some PDFs out here. I'm not going to go through any of those. It'll just take too long. Notice I've got a jQuery cookbook, jQuery hotshot, responsive design with AngularJS, a couple preview copies, so it's about half a book, on simply JavaScript and a JavaScript anthology. Some of these books, as you would probably guess, are better than others. I don't even know what that book is. No, it's okay, so that's a bunch of other stuff. Python and etc. All right. The only other thing that I want to mention, because I no sense here in wasting your time, but if we can very quickly here, open that up. If we look quickly in here, as quickly as this comes up, for the table of contents, what I want you to understand, again, I've already done a lecture on Chapter 1, Introduction to Dynamic Web Programming, Chapter 2, Debugging JavaScript Web Pages, Chapter 3, Understanding Dynamic Web Page Anatomy, Chapter 4, Adding CSS/CSS3 Styles, Chapter 5, Jumping into jQuery and JavaScript Syntax, Chapter 6, Understanding and Using JavaScript Objects. Again, there's probably at least a pretty good chance that by the time you come back from break, whatever it is, January 25th or something like that. Yep, I think it's the 25th. Yep. That I'll also have gone through Chapter 7, accessing DOM elements or using JavaScript and jQuery objects, navigating and manipulating jQuery objects and DOM elements with jQuery, applying JavaScript and jQuery events for richly interactive web pages, dynamically accessing and manipulating web pages with JavaScript and jQuery, and working with window, browser, and other non-page elements. Again, in an ideal world, no later than after the first 6 weeks or so, we'd be done with this point, which would get us into new material or newer material. Part 3, building richly interactive web pages with jQuery. So we go through Chapter 12 on animation, Chapter 13 on web forms, Chapter 14 on web page elements, Chapter 15 on server-side data and AJAX requests, and that would get us into Part 4 of the book, which is Chapters 16 through 19. Utilizing jQuery UI, so introducing the UI, using jQuery UI effects, advanced interactions using jQuery UI, and using jQuery UI widgets to add rich interactions to web pages. All right, again, how long does that take? I don't know. But ideally, we'll have some time, if nothing else, the last few weeks of the semester, where we can start here and go through as much of the last part of the book as possible, which starts in Chapter 20. So it's the last 10 chapters of the book, getting started with AngularJS, understanding AngularJS application dynamics, implementing the scope as a data model, using AngularJS templates to create views, implementing directives in Angular JS views, creating your own custom directives to extend HTML, using events to interact with data in the model, implementing Angular JS services and web apps, creating your own custom Angular JS services, and finally creating rich web application components the Angular JS way. The book has approximately, and I'm not including here the pages that are in the index at the back, but about 775 pages. All right, so I will do everything I can to get through as much of the book as we possibly can. As always, I'm going to count on you that if you've got questions, concerns, you're going to get a hold of me and let me know what those are as soon as possible. I think that's enough for the beginning. So again, as already mentioned, the first six chapters, there are already videos out there for them. And by the time you get back here from the break, there will be the first 11 chapters, my guess is. Okay, that's it.